Hello everybody, welcome to this very, very special F1 Manager 2022 live stream. I'm too excited, I've already made a slow start. My name is Chris Groves, I'm one of the community managers working on F1 Manager 2022, and it's a very special day. Particularly special, you might even be able to hear some ambient music in the background to hype up the anticipation a little bit more. We're live! Early access is now live for F1 Manager 2022 on Steam, on Epic Games Store, Xbox and PlayStation. Super exciting time. If you have pre-ordered the digital version of the game, you can play F1 Manager 2022 right now. And to celebrate that moment with us, I am joined by Adam Woods, Andrew Fletcher, two of the key people that have brought this game to life with the game that people are checking out right now. Andrew Fletcher, Game Director for F1 Manager 2022. Adam Woods, Executive Producer, F1 Manager 2022.
Race driver.
Yes. Not
Executive
just
Producer by night, race driver
that's it.
Today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Both. How are you doing, guys? How are you doing?
I mean,
fantastic.
Yeah, what a day to be here on the sofa with you guys and celebrating the launch of F1 Manager 2022. It's incredible.
We'll get into it in a second, like in a bit more detail, but just so many months, like years even of work and planning have gone into this moment. So it must be awesome to see the game beginning to come out into the wild right now.
Yeah, we're immensely proud, really, of the team and of the game, and just it's so exciting to see how excited people are to get their hands on it and to get stuck in. That's what it's all about. People want to play the game, and that's what we want.
Fantastic. Yeah, and we'll get into it in a bit more detail. We've got so much to get through in this very, very special show. One thing I want to show very quickly, you probably already spotted it. I know our live stream producer Adam is super hyped about this. Let's bring up Race Helmet Cam so we can show off this beauty, official F1 Manager 2022 race helmet. No gimmicks, not just a shell. That is a proper racing helmet, and
I would give it a nudge, but I don't want to. I don't want to sort of knock the perfectly angled camera.
He's positioned it absolutely perfectly.
I've already done it once and got told off.
Yeah, so that's so cool. It's so cool to see that. Just a lovely little touch. You may have seen some other ones out in the wild too. If you're following us on some social channels, some key folks in the world of F1 have probably been showing off their versions of an F1 Manager 2022 race helmet with their branding on it. I think the likes of Chain Bear has already received theirs, which is fantastic, and there'll be some more out in the wild too. So yeah, awesome to show that off. Yes, before we get into it, a few things, some official stuff to go through, and some really, really fun stuff too I wanted to break down. So the first thing to mention, let's recap everything that's happening today for F1 Manager 2022. Early access is live right now on PC, Xbox and PlayStation. Super exciting. We went live just over an hour ago. If you have pre-ordered the digital version of the game, you can play right now on any of those platforms. We're already seeing people jumping in, having loads of fun with the game, which is awesome to see. So go, maybe have it on a second screen whilst you're watching us, or after the stream, go and check it out and put your full focus on it. But you can play it if you pre-ordered the digital version right now. If you haven't pre-ordered yet, and if you want to order the game right now, when you do that, you will immediately have access. So ordering the game anytime between now and August the 30th means you get access to the game before our official launch, which is August the 30th. So that is the official stuff. The game is live via early access right now. Did I get that right, guys? Is it all good?
Yep, sounds right to me.
Okay, good. Right, fun stuff, even more fun stuff to break down. We have some very special prizes and things to show you during this show. So we're going to be using channel points to give away some very special F1 Manager merchandise. So we've seen loads of you in the chat and on our channels ever since we announced the game, and showing off some things like merchandise, some of the stuff you may see behind us, some stuff we've shown at events that you've wanted to get your hands on. Now is your chance to get your hands on some stuff. So via redemption of channel points, you can win a prize bundle of F1 Manager 2022 merchandise, which includes this lovely backpack over here. You would get one of these, and in the backpack you'll get some exclusive merchandise, which I've packed down here to show off, and I'll do my best impression of there we go. Very nice, very sleek, lovely bottle here, officially branded F1 Manager 2022. Very nice. We've got an official F1M pin badge. I'll put it a bit closer to the camera. There we go. Sorry, I made it blur. Sorry, Adam. There you go. F1 Manager pin badge. We have an official candle, and I love these. We've sent these out to a lot of people, and people have been very interested in. I don't know if you can read that, but this is race fuel scented So yes,
after a long hard day,
it's what you need.
Just get in a bath, have your race fuel candle on.
Yeah, you might get a race fuel. We also have a burnt rubber scented one.
Even more relaxing.
Even more relaxing. Yes, absolutely. So you'll get one of those, and you also get. I'm wearing one right now. You also get this lovely F1 Manager lanyard. So we're giving away via channel points 5 prize bundles over the course of the show, and yeah, you'll get the backpack and you will get all those items in there too. So keep an eye on your channel points. It's going up to 1,500, and once you hit that threshold of 1,500 points, you can look to try and redeem your points, and then you can win the bundle. There'll be one bundle available every 10 minutes, so there's plenty of chances to get involved. This is an F1 Manager Twitch only giveaway, so if you are watching on another channel, such as the Frontier channel, you have to come over to the F1 Manager channel to make sure you can get the prizes. So just make sure you do that if you're interested. The full T's and C's are in the About section of our channels if you need to know any more information. If you do win, awesome, well done, we love you, and we'll be in touch to make sure we can get all the prizes over to you. So that is it. That's the fun stuff in terms of prizes. One final thing to mention before we really get into it is that codes. Yes. So if you are looking to potentially get your hands on a code for F1 Manager 2022, we unsurprisingly get quite a few questions about wanting to grab a code. People are super excited for it. Keep an eye on the chat. Throughout the show, we're going to be dropping a couple of little game codes into the chat if you're interested across all of the platforms that the game is available on. So keep an eye out for that. Deep breath.
Ooh, well done. Really incredible how you
I'm just so excited.
Get
it's not just launch. We've had cake.
We've had
cupcakes.
Yep.
Lots of excitement and lots of sugar is not always a good combination, but we'll try and keep this train on the tracks.
It's the only combination.
Absolutely, yeah, that's very true. Actually, that's very true. Right, we're going to show off some of the game whilst we have a chat to Andy and Adam. We've got a save booted up. Adam, I don't know if you want to bring it up from your side, my good friend. We'll show. Actually, we're into the game, and this isn't far away from when you first boot up the game. This is not far away from what you would experience because we're only the third race into the season in this save of the 2022 season, and we are in control of Red Bull in this one. And as you can see in the constructor standings on the bottom left, we're doing okay.
I have to peer over the helmet.
Peer over the race numbers. Yeah, am I doing it right? Yes. So first race of the season was Bahrain. Ferrari won that 1-2 for Ferrari, followed by 3-4 for us at Red Bull. But Saudi Arabia, a lovely little 2-stop aggressive strategy from Max Verstappen, nailed a P1 for Red Bull with Sergio, with Checo coming in P3. So well in the hunt after 2 races, and we'll look to get to the top of the constructors' standings after the third race, which is in Australia, which is a circuit we've shown a little bit in some of our content, but not during a live stream. So I thought it'd be great to show that off. So we'll get into that. And at the same time, I just want to talk to you both about your feelings about the game, about the launch, about everything that you're seeing so far. Whilst I break down, I go through some of this pre-race stuff. I just want to ask you guys, kind of again, maybe just break down in more detail. How exciting is it to see the game that you've been working on for so long, you've thrown so much time and passion and effort into the wild in F1 Manager 2022. Adam, I'll start with you.
I've been doing this for a very long time now, Chris, and it never. I think I said this when we were talking about on one of our very first streams. It doesn't change the excitement and the anticipation and the nervousness. Yeah. You spend all this time and effort and passion, but it's very not secluded. It's you're behind a wall for a very long time, and then you start dripping out, and you hope that you've hit the mark, and clearly we have. Clearly the team have done it. For looking at the response we've had so far, we knew that looking at the responses we had from the early days of showing press and things in behind closed doors and whatnot. And it's weirdly the helmet is quite a thing to punctuate.
Yeah, it's kind of like that hits at home.
You sort of.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a weird thing to say, but when I came in and saw it for the first time in the flesh, you're like,
oh,
hang on a minute, that's our game. Right? It's Frontier.
From the days of early presentations and ideas and just thoughts to this. Yeah, I totally understand.
And every game I work on, it just keeps getting bigger, and so the emotions are higher every single time. It never dulls.
Yeah.
Never dulls.
Andy, what about you? You actually kind of, to peek back the camera, but you just given a bit of a speech to the entire team, just thanking everybody for the hard work that's gone into it.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the kind of early presentations of the game, or trying to kind of map out the vision for it, and it is a very unique game. It's we're kind of pushing the envelope in a lot of areas in this game, and I think what's great reading the feedback is a lot of it is like, wow, yeah, we did nail that. You know, people are really soaking up all the detail and the authenticity, the depth and the control you have over the team. And the races, the drama of the races, and the number of like people who are kind of writing out like what happened to them in the race, and, oh, this happened, that happened, then I pulled it back, and it's like, that's just wonderful. We want people sharing those stories and making their own narratives with the game, and it's really hit the mark. We've
already seen that, haven't we? We were able to give some content creators some early access to the game, so a lot of you folks may have already seen that across our channels since yesterday afternoon, British time, and just immediately from race 1, season 1, first save, first video of a channel, of a let's play or a road to glory. There are battles, there are moments, there are narratives that are emerging. I've seen one. I'm going to shout out the likes of Work the Space. I mentioned him before. I saw a fantastic clip of him saying, "I just need somebody to crash now. I just need somebody to crash." And then his car crashed.
I just need a little crash now. Nothing bad. Just not my car.
I've seen AR12, Nick the Awesome AR12. He shared a clip from his video of he was 1 and 2 with Ferrari into the final laps race, and he was like, "Nothing can go wrong now." And suddenly there goes Leclerc with an incident with a Haas, and everything's ruined. And these things can happen. Those narratives can emerge during a game. So
I think it's really heartening to see that people are taking on these teams as their own as well. You know, it is their team that they're looking after. You know, and that they're within a couple of races, within the first couple of laps of practice, they're fully invested. You can see that, fully invested.
Absolutely. So we're kind of going through some of the the menu stuff, the background stuff, the real strategies, like off the track elements of the game. But is there? I'll start with you, Andy. Is there a specific feature of the game or an area of the game, an aspect of it that stands out to you as just wow from those early days of putting this game together and the vision that you and the team had? Is there anything that really sticks out to you as wow? I'm especially proud of that.
There's a lot of little moments of kind of innovation throughout the game, I think, and I think actually the game it's more than the sum of its parts. I think obviously you've got a huge depth of team management, and you've got the full race weekend and all the kind of drama and strategy that plays out there. I think it really does come together as more than the sum of its parts. But if I had to pick a couple of things, maybe I love what we did with strategy view. I love making the kind of the strategic decisions something that you interact with and something that's manifest in the game, and that you revise on the fly rather than just being kind of something in your head. Team radio as well. Somebody wrote in a review the other day that they almost forgot to mention it because it just feels like so standard. You have to have that in this kind of game now because it's so immersive and it's so intimate. How could you not have it? And it's amazing that the team have managed to hit those sort of benchmark features out the gate.
Yeah, the team radio was definitely one early on in our our road to launch really. Where we were sharing some early information about the game, some new trailers, some early work in progress footage, and when it emerged that there was team radio, actual real world team radio, that was a big thing to a lot of people. I think they're super excited about that, and we saw that again with some of the folks who have already been playing, including people playing today, because the game, if you're just joining us, is available via early access. If you've pre-ordered the digital version of the game, you can play right now. So I guess another area of the game, sort of trying to do a classic segue into another aspect.
Get the links.
Yeah, get the links in. We're just about to actually jump into the racing aspect of the game. So we're going into the practice session at Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix, and the visual aspect of the gameplay in terms of actual racing, the on-track stuff. I think that's another area of the game that a lot of our viewers throughout our kind of road to launch have been like, oh wow, they knew there was a management game coming. They knew there's going to be lots of depth and detail simulation. But that visual quality, I think, as well has really caught people and really caught their imagination, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has, and it's really it's not there. It's not there just as a visual kind of thing. It's actually incredibly immersive, and you can actually, it really gets you into that session you're doing, if it's practice or qualifying, or obviously particularly the most dramatic race day itself, and you're watching all of your decisions that you've taken over the weeks running up to it and the seasons before all start playing out, in this incredibly realistic and kind of broadcast experience, trackside, onboard cameras, watching other competitors and how they're getting on in their part of the race that could then ultimately impact you. It's certainly it is breathtaking, and I think that's not an understatement. We saw people experience it the first time, and they're like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a map view. Obviously, you've got the map view as well, because that's a very important way of understanding the race and seeing how it plays out. But yeah, and then watching people play entire races in real time, right? And not actually wanting to speed it up because it's so involving, because it's so dramatic.
Even after a long time in the game, even if you do fast forward a lot of the time, you'll still slow down for those key passes and
absolutely,
those pit stops, and to see where you are in the traffic. Are you in the dirty air? Like it's a really important information kind of feedback.
We've already seen lots of people make the exact same error well, not error, but the exact same mistake that we have when we do in these streams. We're like, we'll be here for about an hour. We'll just we'll go through a race and suddenly we're here about 30 minutes later, being like, it's 5 laps to go. We've got a chance to win it. I've seen that throughout some of the content we've already seen and some of the folks who are playing. So
and it happens in the office, on the floor. If someone's doing a little race or something, you'll suddenly get a few people stood around someone's desk, and you're all vying for that position. And it doesn't even matter what position you're vying for. It's as dramatic as right across the pack. Getting those really important places.
I've read people talking about the kind of the fist pumping sort of adrenaline moment of like just getting points as Williams or Aston or someone like that, and that's really satisfying, because like you say, that you slow it down, the races can be quite engrossing and long, and if you get the result, it's just so satisfying.
So a lot of people who are going to be jumping into the game for the first time around about now, whether coming home from work or waking up, they're in another part of the world, getting to check out this game for the very first time. They may have seen a lot of our content. If you haven't already, make sure to go onto our YouTube channel. You'll see all kinds of different videos and content on there about, our feature focus series is great to check out if some of the key areas of the game to kind of get you up to speed before you jump in. There's also some great in-game guidance, isn't there? There's like a tutorial at the start of the game that's optional, but we encourage all first-time players to check it out. That helps you kind of walk through the early sort of goings of the game, and there's also help pages available in many key areas. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of helps you in the early goings. But if either of you did have any early tips for players as they're getting settled into the game, what would there be from your side? Adam, let's start with you.
I think for me, it's taking. There's a lot of advice that will come from your race engineers and stuff about what car parts to sort of develop and how you're stacking up against the grid. So that's always, do take time looking in your emails and don't just glance over them, have a really good look, because they will also take you to the area of the game that they're sort of talking about as well. So your engineer might talk to you about pre-season testing results that have come through, where your car stacks up. Then you can start looking at your car part development. And when you're there as well, take time to look at analysing the data. I found it really useful. You can either look at the raw stats of your car, but you can also switch it to what it means for the grid, for your grid position. So it's a much easier way to digest it. And I think we've worked quite hard to try to have the game sort of grow with your experience. We're going to have people that will go in there straight away and they don't care about where that means they're on the grid. They can just use the raw numbers to figure it out. But other players might want the grid stuff, so it kind of evolves with you. So I think look at your emails and give them a good read, and there's lots of really useful information in them.
Okay, that's a good shout. Before we come to you, Andy, just a couple of things to mention. We've got some winners of our channel points are already coming through. We have Yanuz, I think, in the chat, might be in our first claimant, which is absolutely awesome. Congratulations! You'll be able to get your hands on some of the prizes that we've shown, and I think Mr. Tree 30 as well. I think might be one of the winners too. And make sure, if you're interested in checking out some of these prizes, the T's and C's are on our channel. Heather G as well, I think, has been one of the winners. Redemption of the channel points to win our exclusive F1 Manager merchandise, including the bottle here and the candle, but also this backpack up here. So well done for redeeming your channel points and getting your hands on some awesome prizes. But yes, terms and conditions for the channel points are on our Twitch channel. There's every 10 minutes or so you'll be able to try and get your hands on these prizes if you have over 1,500 channel points. Right? Yes. So. We were talking about first tips. So, Andy, from your side, what would yours be?
I should probably say the cost cap, shouldn't I? No,
pay heed to the cost cap.
Off-track bureaucracy, you let on-track action, right? No, mine's actually quite something that even gets me, after all the time that I spent with the game. Powertrain condition. So one of the emails you'll get is you will get an email when your powertrain goes to sort of damage, say, or into a condition where they go, well, if you take this to the next race, it's going to be underpowered. The engine might not, give you the acceleration you need, the gearbox, or what have you, the ERS system. but you kind of want to keep an eye on it before then, because if you go over that threshold during a race weekend, you might find yourself at Monza or a power circuit or something. It's like, oh, the engine's actually dipped into low condition, and you're not going to have that power that you need. So I'd say keep an eye when you're preparing for a race weekend. Check out the condition of your powertrain components. And think about whether it's suitable for the track. Because some tracks, like it's not a downforce circuit, a low condition engine might be fine, and you do a one stop and you conserve and everything like that, and you're not wearing the train down. You don't need the same power. But if you're going to a power circuit, you might need to get a new engine, go fresh. So yeah, very specific.
But that's what the game's all about, isn't it? Sometimes it's the marginal gains in a game like this, especially like F1 Manager 2022, where going into those details and nailing those decisions can make all the difference. I think we were just talking about team radio a little bit earlier on and some of the cool things. I think we actually just heard Max Verstappen give some feedback on the setup of his car, and he was no happy.
No.
Some expletives there that we've had to bleep out. That's kind of, I guess, whilst we're here, we'll have a quick sort of breakdown of how practice kind of works. So I know we've mentioned this before in a previous stream, but Andy, I guess, I don't know if you want to give a quick breakdown of kind of how practice works as we maybe bring in one of our cars to make some setup changes, because they've just given us some feedback, right?
Yeah. So the practice is all about how you use your time on the track. So setup is the biggest thing. You obviously want to take in the feedback from the driver. Once he's got enough like familiarity on the track, he'll kind of come back and say, this is working for me, this is not. And you've got a suite of car setup attributes that you can adjust to try again and see if a refined setup will get a better report from your driver. But alongside that, so here you'll see you've got your different attributes here, mostly bad, that's why he's not so happy on the radio. you give it a rejig and see if he's happy with a different setup. But alongside this, you've also got like your driver gaining knowledge of the car parts. So if you come with a new aero package or it's a brand new car, that will gradually go up the longer you're on the track. Same with track acclimatization, that goes up gradually when you're on the track. And really, you'll actually find that it's quite hard to, although you have 3 hours of practice, it's quite hard to get all of those maxed out if you're not really careful with where you decide to, how you decide to spend your time in the track. Because acclimatization goes up more the longer you're on the track. But the longer you're on your track, the less setup feedback you get. So it's it's really fun. I mean, I love making those fine adjustments and trying to get it from great to optimal or whatever without losing more confidence. But the more confidence the driver gets, the more of a boost he'll have over the weekend, and the better performance will be.
Totally, yeah. And I wish I had a bit more time to send them out for multiple runs and to get more track acclimatization. But not going to be able to this time as we rattle through this show. We want to get into a bit of qualifying as well, and then in the second half of the show we will do race day along with some other fun stuff too, which we'll get onto after the break. But yeah, I guess we've seen practice. We're going to see a little bit of qualifying in a second once we kind of break down the session. Let's send them out maybe just for one more go on the mediums just quickly to see how he gets on. And Perez went on the mediums on the first stint, so in the second stint, let's put him out some softs and see how he does with those. So you can help me here, guys. So I've set the soft tyres, car parts, that's all fine, car setup, so I need to make some changes here, right? So yeah, that's front wing angle. So it looks like maybe some extra front wing would help. Yeah. Rear wing, that moves quite a lot around. Let's maybe try just a bit of this for now. So that changes cornering quite heavily the tyre camera as you would expect. So your run plan is 21 laps, but softs don't necessarily last that long.
They might do on this circuit on Albert Park.
Yeah, potentially so.
I think there's like a margin where you just have to be careful. So let's drop that run plan a little bit, and then away you go.
Yeah. Any other kind of, when you're going through those kind of menus and setup when you're getting into a race weekend, what kind of other things should players be looking out for before they jump over to the racetrack? I guess there's things like, making sure you're all stocked up on new parts, little things like that. Any other key tips before you jump into a race weekend?
Absolutely. Car parts and development is not just about designing and manufacturing new parts for the middle to later part of the season. It's actually also making sure you've got enough spares. I've done it myself where I'll bang into a wall, lose the front wing, I've got no more replacements. So you have to make sure that your warehouse is stocked with any designs that you currently have as well as doing that. So it's about looking at the resources you've got, money, engineer team, design team, manufacturing space in your HQ, and balancing it accordingly, you know.
Yeah.
And then at some point as well, or at certain points, the next season regulations that you have voted on along with the other teams, that then opens up as well. So do you start to look at what's happening in the next season? Has this season been a bit of a, you know, one to forget? So you're just going to put lots of money into the next season, or are you going to carry on with this one?
Yeah.
So
there's
lots to think about, and it is all incredibly connected. So you have to take your time and look at all of it. And you do have time. You know you can look through all these things and the circuit information and whatnot. Sort of at your leisure, ready before the race weekend even kicks off.
Got you. Yeah. So end of FP1 there. P3 and P4. Considering we did a similar amount of laps to Charles and Carlos there. So. Standing us in good stead to kind of rattle things along a little bit. We're going to go through. We're going to avoid P2 and FP3 and get into qualifying. And let's see how we get on. Let's try and get both drivers into the shooter. But again, we'll rattle through this because we're already 30 minutes into the show. I said to you both before the show, this will fly. Like we've got this idea of what we want to do, but it's just going to go so quickly because we're going to be having too much fun just enjoying the game. So, yes. So. But good track, that's fantastic. Track acclimatization, car parts knowledge for Sergio is looking really good. Yeah. Obviously, if we participated a bit more in the practice sessions, we probably would have got more. Could have got
right? Ferraris, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into qualifying, which looks like it could be rainy.
Could be some rain.
So let's have a look here. So what should we do here? I think let's just hold for now and just see what the weather looks like.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Get into the session one.
Yeah.
Or Q1.
Yeah, getting into Q1. Let's see how it's looking. So it's looking dry for now. So I would I think whilst it's dry, let's get them out before any potential rain comes.
At least get a good lap in maybe in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just do the one flying. Let's do the one flying lap. I trust Max to get the job done on the softs. So
he's got 5 minutes to come in. Looks like it's going to rain in 5.
Yeah. So let's.
It's quite a high. Yeah. What was that? 50% chance.
Right. Let's see who can react to it. So, we'll send him out. Okay, so loud and clear. Good. Right. Okay. Cars are out. Let's try and get some laps in before the rain hits. So this is a key part of the game.
Have you sent them out a bit too close to each other?
Oh yeah, maybe. So hopefully Paris gets a little bit of a toe off Verstappen, but I see what you mean there. But this is a key part of the game, isn't it? That strategic element, and weather can play a massive part in not just the race, but as you can see here, potentially in a qualifying session too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So so you got things like you can check the weather forecast. You can see it over here. Potentially there's some potential rain here, 50% in a couple of minutes' time. So it could be very important to get out quickly. So we've got the benefit of that. So let's try and get some strong laps in before the rain hits. So but you'll see. So you can see it weather projected. We can see some rain coming.
Oh, it's actually starting to.
Yeah, it's
drop now.
Starting to come. So it looks like we might have made the right call here to get the laps in. Let's maybe some other drivers that haven't quite been able to jump the gun like we have. We shall see. So this can happen in any session. It can happen in a race. It's all about finding ways to react at the right time, make the right call, be on the track at the right time. As we can see here, we should be able to benefit quite greatly from this, unless the rain dies off.
Yeah.
95% coming up, so it looks like it's going to stick around. So that's a challenge there that we were given to look out for the weather conditions, to be alive to conditions. And for once, I don't know if anybody's seen some other streams that I've done, but I've not really managed to strategize very well. I've managed to get it right this time.
Yeah, I glazed over a little bit there because you end up just kind of going, well, what's going to happen? Look at the tracks to show. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing this for a long time, but you can still sit here and just go, oh, I wonder what's going to happen there. How's it going to play out? This
and we benefited here, because reacting quickly, before some other cars. They're going to give it another go. Let's see if the track has dried up at all. Maybe a little bit.
No,
but it's still
5 mils. It's heavy rain out there at the moment.
So they're all battling to try and get through, to avoid an early elimination here.
Yeah.
But that's not it, because there's too much on track and some shock eliminations.
Look at that. Hamilton and Leclerc are out.
There you go. There you go. Right.
Interesting strategy call again from Ferrari.
Absolutely. That's how this one's panned out. Some late laps. There we go, and they've managed to sneak their way through.
They got it through.
We were jumping the gun there. So but still Hamilton not able to find the lap.
Yeah.
Okay, so we managed to navigate that pretty well. And now we're
Sunday's looking clear though.
Yeah.
Ready for the second half of the show. You should be all right.
I'm just praying I get this right, because you've probably seen the streams we've done before. I've made some terrible strategic decisions, so it's cleared up nicely for the next part of the session. So let's set up a little bit of a plan here for our drivers. So yeah, we managed to use the softs the first time around, so let's stick with that. I'm happy with that, and let's do the same for Checo. Make sure he's got he's ready to go. So yeah, I'll pause it. So let's get him out. Maybe wait for a couple of cars maybe to get out in front of us. Let's let them clear the track possibly.
Track rubber's low.
So I guess this is what qualifying is all about. Where, regardless of the weather conditions, it's all about getting your cars out on track at the right time, isn't it? To avoid traffic, to avoid any changing conditions, or to see when you can see on the right hand side the track rubber. That plays a key part too, right?
Yeah, not to optimise the track grip. So like in the last session, for example, it rained, so it's a great idea to come out as soon as possible. But if the rain had stopped, potentially, track grip could have been higher at the end of the session, so you might have wanted to come out again. But because that's why a lot of the cars go out at the end of the quali rounds, right? Because they want to get the most of that the track grip. But that's when there's a spike in traffic, so you might want to miss out on that.
Yeah. One thing I was actually going to talk to you about, Andy, because we've been chatting with some players about this, and we've talked about it before, but maybe we can talk about it in a bit more detail. So at the moment, because we're in qualifying, you can see here, it says automatic mode, and so that's in a race you'll be able to control the likes of your ERS usage, your tyre usage, also your fuel, how much fuel consumption you use, and that's something that we chatted about with our players recently, and looking at some streams and some videos that went live yesterday, and looking at what the indicators say and what they mean. Could you maybe break down a bit of detail, kind of what that means when we're looking at the fuel usage?
Yeah, of course. So when you're in a race, you've got an initial fuel load that will carry you through hopefully to the end of the race, and that's the first value you'll see in kilograms, how much fuel you've got, and you'll see that gradually sort of tick down. You've also got a fuel delta value, which tells you how many laps you're expected to be over or under by the end of the race, basically. So it's a +1 lap, you've got an extra lap of fuel. If it's a negative, then it means you haven't got enough fuel to finish. But the thing about the fuel delta is it's very dynamic. So if you're kind of behind a safety car, it's going to creep up, because it's like, well, at this, in this situation, the car's very fuel efficient, you will end with a big fuel delta.
Yeah.
But if you're in clean air and you're pushing, the projection is going to be like, well, you can't do this for the rest of the race. Your delta is going to be negative, right? So it's important to monitor and think about kind of what's going on with your car at the moment. So when you've got a really healthy fuel delta, you can absolutely afford to push and not do less lifting coast. But as soon as you start getting sort of below a lap of positive delta, it's like maybe think about kind of just going to balanced or but once you're negative, you need to conserve.
So quite often it's not. Sometimes it's not a case of trying to avoid this. I'm confident that Verstappen's I'm going to try and save a set of tyres here with Max and not send him out.
Okay.
A bit of a risk, but Perez needs a good lap because he wasn't able to get a good one in second time round. So and he looks like he's going to get a little bit cleaner. So so going back to the fuel thing. So sometimes you might see a big number in the plus or minus, which is the delta. That doesn't necessarily. So if you say like it says plus 6.0, that doesn't necessarily mean you have 6 laps extra fuel in the car. It's a bit more complex than that. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's based on what's going on at the moment, which probably means you're behind a safety car, or you're more fuel efficient because you're in the slipstream of other cars or something of that nature. But once you start kind of picking up pace and the fuel burn is higher, then you'll see that delta change quite rapidly.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes total sense. Fantastic. Right, we did it.
2-4.
We did it. There was a bit of a scare there in the middle of the session for Checo, but we got him out at the right time, avoided some traffic.
You are doing like 3 jobs at once.
I'm attempting to. I'm also reading all kinds of
and that. So 2-4 is pretty good.
Reading the chat, all kinds of bits and bobs. We have another winner of our channel points redemption, which means Commandant 31. Congratulations, you have won some more F1 Manager 2022 merchandise, the backpack, the bottles you can see here, and some other awesome merchandise too. Well done to you for redeeming your channel points. I believe Super Live stream producer Adam, we have one more to give away. Is that correct? Two, right? Okay, right. So a maximum of 2 to give away. Remember, of course, there's a cooldown after one is redeemed of 10 minutes, so you won't be able to immediately redeem your points. Just keep an eye out. Try and be ready to redeem it at the right time, and see if you can win some awesome prizes. And also keep an eye out, because I know that one of my awesome colleagues is also in the chat looking at dropping some game codes too. So keep an eye out for those if you're interested in getting your hands on a code of the game if you haven't already jumped in. Right, into the shootout, guys. High pressure.
Here we go.
Final moment of this first half of the show before I let you go and eat some more cake, which you have.
I will definitely be going to have a cake and a coffee.
You have earned all the cake and coffee that you could possibly want. Right, so shootout time. This is just all about getting drivers out at the right time, getting them on the good tyres.
Yeah. You going early?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you put the pressure on me now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go Max out.
He's done really
well. Sorry.
With both drivers, you're going to go early.
I want to get Max out first, and maybe during that kind of, you get a bit of a wind down in the middle of the two runs. Maybe in the middle, I might put Checo out.
So
for that
there's a bit of rain on the way in 4 minutes.
Oh, thank you. See, this is why I would struggle just being on my. I need to,
You can see because the projection's got like a drop in track.
So you can see that.
So you can just see that that's because it's
see. Yes. Right. Okay. So you're absolutely right. Checo needs to come out and do a nice run too before
get him in the bag.
The weather strikes. Let's send them out.
Yeah.
Send out.
It's been an action-packed qualifying.
Yeah, weather changes. A little bit like when we were at Silverstone for this British Grand Prix. There were dry tyres, wets, intermediates. Everything was in play during then. It's been very similar for this qualifying session.
The tyres are another important bit of qualifying as well, because if you've got a race strategy, that's heavily on soft, saying you're doing a two soft stints, you might want to conserve some of your softs during qualifying, right? You might just actually I'll just go at once in Q3 because I want to make sure I've got fresh softs for the race.
All got out of the way quickly.
Bit of a hold up from the Alfa Romeo, but you're absolutely right. Sometimes you want to save as a lot of teams in the real world of F1 will do, try and save a set of tyres for the race basically, and make sure that based on the strategy that you want to do for the race, you've got the right fresh tyres to hand. So, which I have not done because I was panicking and I was worried about changing weather conditions.
Just fresh softs, go.
Keeping an eye on just softs, get out go as fast as you can, guys. That's my team principal motivation for you. There was a bit of a hold up there from the Alfa Romeo, which is unfortunate. Let's see what kind of lap. We do see some rain. Right, okay. Yeah. Let's see how this pans out.
Is this the flying lap? Is this the flying lap?
I believe so, yeah. So Max is going to, if we go into this screen, so Max, he set the fastest first sector, but just couldn't hook it all up because the rain came
120,
down. Yeah. This could be, so it looks like Ferrari and Alfa Romeo have really got this one right because they managed to get out as soon as possible and put in strong times. Let's go back to this and see if it's going to clear up. Doesn't look like it. But potentially.
What about strategy views that tell you what they are?
Yeah.
When the rain's going to end.
Right
on the right hand side.
Oh yeah.
It's going to. There's going to be a final push at the end.
Okay. Let's get there. They're heading to the garage.
He's going for that late push.
Yeah.
I think the grip's going to be lower though. So
what do you think? Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. But what do you? So we've got to pick some tyres here as well. Get them out. So these
he's going straight to his softs again. See, don't worry about the softs.
I just want track position. Track position is what I want. This is all that's important to me. I'm Mr. Track Position on this one. Confirm. Right. So I'm thinking. Because we need the track to die out. Maybe around 3 minutes or so to go. We'll get them out. Track conditions change.
Still 4 mil of water on the track.
Tricky. Basically, as late as possible.
It's starting to come down now, and the rain has stopped. I think.
Yeah.
It's just whether you've really only got a minute before you have to send them out. You want to give them at least 150 something. Yeah, about 150 something like that around Albert Park. So Let's
I'm
wringing my hands. I'm actually getting nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh,
we were just saying earlier in the show.
Is Chris not going to be able to qualify Red Bull very well on a live stream?
Right, let's go. Now let's do it. Let's send them out. Let's get Max out first. Leave him a bit of space. Oh, it's still damp though. It's still damp.
Get Perez out.
I'm just praying that the track's going to dry up as it goes. Come on.
Oh, it's still 3 mil of water.
It's drying quickly because it's Australia, right? But
and there's a bit of traffic out as well.
It's a good place to actually go. Here's those live timing screens because if people are setting green sectors, which suggests that
the intermediate's still working.
I've made the wrong choice here. I've
possibly.
But are they going to go quicker though? It's such mixed conditions that it's going to be very interesting to see if they can.
What's the track condition now?
Let's have a look.
Go to race view.
Yeah, race view.
3 mil of water still.
Yeah.
I don't know if the board are going to be happy with you.
It's on the borderline, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the borderline, but we've crossed the line. We're not going to get higher than third and fourth, but the times for the other drivers haven't increased too. Is right on the borderline. We will take third and fourth for the Australian Grand Prix.
Bottas was strong there. That was
Very
nice.
good from Bottas, out at the right time to get a good lap. I would say, based on everything I tried to do at the same time, that I will take.
I'll still give you a strong 8 out of 10.
Thank you.
Definitely a strong 8 out of 10.
Just not just on streams, but in life. That's kind of what. So I'll take that absolutely. Okay, right. So practice and quali done. Thank you both for walking us through that. Before we jump, I've kept you for far too long, but just very quickly to wrap things up. So what is the one thing that both of you are most excited for players to see players do once they get into F1 Manager 2022?
For me, it is watching people develop their teams. I think that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm already seeing some of their little, as I said before, people getting invested instantly in their team. We're seeing people clear out teams instantly and then bring whole new people in. And I think it's just those stories that come out. I'm really passionate about listening to people's own stories that they make in all of our games. And F1 Manager 2022 is no different. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Andy?
Well, that's a great answer. But I can't say that.
Let me step in.
No. I totally agree. It's all about like the player experiences and the unique stories they tell. But I am curious to see the first people to win championships with Williams and Aston, and what driver lineup they end up with in a few years' time. You know, it's,
which F2 and F3 drivers come through to the fore the most. That's going to be really interesting.
We haven't discovered all these stories ourselves.
Fantastic. Right, thank you both. I've kept you for far too long, as I knew that I would. But yes, thank you so much for coming on and celebrating the launch, the early access launch of F1 Manager 2022 with me. And thank you everybody for joining us. But there's still much more to come. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do race day at Albert Park and some other special things to show you, and potentially a very special guest too. So yeah, we're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We'll be back in a moment.
Race day has arrived and the time has come for these drivers to fight it out wheel to wheel.
Yes!
Oh, and that's a crash!
Let's go!
Go with the Bahrain Grand Prix.
A fantastic start on the Haas.
Oh, big lock up there. Oh, they've lost control and spun.
Really good overtaking there.
I've lost it, Barrow.
Sorry, mate. Also Barrow. Push as much as you can. Gubby.
There was some masterful driving here from Esteban Ocon.
And box. Check the box. Gubby, mate.
The team's not going to be happy with that stop at all. That crash is terrible news for the team. A superb drive today from Sebastian Vettel. A tremendous job. This is sure to be quite the spectacle then, and we've got a front row seat for today's race here at Silverstone. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder, what else is in store for the teams? Well, there's only one way to find out.
That is simply lovely.
Get in there!
The weekend begins right here.
Welcome back, everybody, to this special F1 Manager 2022 live stream. You have just watched the official launch trailer for F1 Manager 2022, and that is live because, as you probably know, but maybe you don't, so I'll give you a quick reminder, the early access window for F1 Manager 2022 is now live. If you have pre-ordered the digital version of the game on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, you can go and play the game right now. So exciting. It's been an amazing journey getting up to this point. Thank you for everybody who's been a part of that. And it's so cool that we're beginning our launch window with the early access beginning today. About an hour and 40 minutes or so ago, we went live. So check it out if you pre-ordered the digital version. If you haven't pre-ordered the digital version, you can do that right now, and then you can access the game immediately. So get on it and let us know how you get on. Follow us on, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and just show us how you're getting on and how much you're enjoying the game. That would be awesome to see. A couple of quick things before we continue the show. Remember, we're giving away some special F1 Manager merchandise. You can see here over my shoulder. Lovely positioning of the camera there, Adam, so you can see it beautifully over my shoulder. Special F1 Manager backpack, and in that backpack would be, if you're the winner of our channel points giveaway, would be some special stuff, including this lovely bottle. F1 Manager 2022, looking very, very nice. Very, very jealous to anybody who gets one of those. You also get a very special scented candle as well. This one is race fuel scented, so you could get this one, or you could get the burnt rubber one as well. So it's that's something a little bit different to scent your abode with. And we also have a special lanyard. I'm wearing one, but here's another example here. And we also have an awesome F1 Manager pin badge too. So if you have over 1,500 channel points, you'll be able to try and redeem your points to claim the prize. There is a cooldown period, so keep that in mind when you're looking to redeem your points. You might not be able to redeem them immediately, but I believe we've recently just given away another one of them. Frozen Vase, I believe, in the chat has redeemed his channel points to get some F1 Manager merchandise. We have one left, is that correct? Yes, so there's one more to go. Congratulations, Frozen Vase, for winning your F1 Manager goodies, and we have one more bundle of merchandise to give away, so keep an eye out for that if you've earned more than 1,500 channel points. And finally, game codes. We are continuing to give away a couple more game codes in the second half of the show, so keep an eye on the chat if you're looking for a code for the game. Right, before we get into the race day at Albert Park, I believe we have a special guest on the line. Come in, Mr. Steve James. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello, Chris. Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, mate. I can hear you, I can see you, and I can see behind you some amazing things.
Yes.
Tell us, Steve, where are you?
I am in Belgium at the fan zone at the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps circuit. This is my favourite place I think I've ever been, actually. I'm just going to walk around here and show you a little bit of this because it's so, so cool, man. The beautiful Ardennes forest, which I'm very, very excited to be in. I don't know if you can hear this music. I'm really sorry if you can, because it's pretty bonkers out here still. It's now nearly 6 p.m. here, and there's still people milling around in the fan zone. We've got a lot of people playing the game today. A lot of people saying they've already pre-ordered it, which is really, really cool to hear. Yeah, it's been really nice.
Fantastic. So yes, you're at the fan zone at the Belgian Grand Prix, which of course is this weekend, and we have F1 Manager 2022 there. So you can, if you happen to be, or you're about to go out to the Belgian Grand Prix over at Spa, you can check out the game, right? Isn't that right, Steve?
Yes. So we've got plenty of booths here. We've got it set up for the Spa race as well. We're giving you a choice of Ferrari or Red Bull. So yeah, if you're here or you're planning to be here over the weekend, come on down. We're just over here. You won't miss us. We've got a whacking great booth here. And there's, like I said, there's still people here playing the game right now. And like I said, it's nearly 6 p.m. on a Thursday. So, you know, it's not the cars on track day. We have had some really nice classic cars that have just been sort of shooting up Eau Rouge just about half an hour ago. So you've just missed the deafening sounds of that. But yeah, it's really very, very warm out here. But yeah, still really good to see loads of fans coming out and saying that they've been following the game and stuff. Just, yeah, really, really nice buzz for launch day.
Fantastic. That's so cool. I can see you having a really good time. Conditions look good too. That might change over the weekend. So enjoy the sun. Yeah, enjoy the sun while it lasts.
We do have ponchos.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that's a key thing as well. If you happen to be around Spa, you might be able to grab yourself potentially something to keep you safe from the rain. But courtesy of F1 Manager,
yes.
That would be super, super cool. Right, some other potential highlights so far. Steve, you've been out there, maybe some celebrity spotting. I happen to believe, I think, based on what I've seen on the Williams Twitter account recently, that you might have been meeting a couple of drivers earlier today.
I was, yes. We, myself, a young Alexander Albon and a young Nicholas Latifi was sat in an office earlier today, sorting out a beautiful little bit of filming that we're maybe going to show you later on. And the best part is obviously we were challenging them to effectively, you know, take on their team principal. And he decided to come into the room and say, "Look, I need this room back." So that was quite fun as well. But yeah, really good. It was very, very cool to meet Nicky and Alex. First name terms now, you know, best friends.
Oh yeah.
My two best friends, Nicky and Alex Williams. But yeah, really, really cool. They were kind of saying, you know, they were sort of shocked at how much there was to do in their game, which was really cool. So I was running them through, the basic setup of how to play the game and what they were going to be doing, and they were both like, "Wow, there's a lot going on here," which was really cool to see from two F1 drivers.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're on first name terms with Alex and Nikki. I believe they're actually now calling you Right Bananas. Yes. So so they're big fans of your Twitch channel.
Strategy goes.
Yeah, strategy go. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I mean, of course. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will know, but maybe you don't. Steve's another one of the community managers working alongside myself and F1 Manager 2022. And I wanted to just ask you, Steve. I know we've been on a hell of a journey together, kind of building this community and meeting so many folks. Just be awesome to get your thoughts on getting to this point with the early access launch and seeing this community grow from the point we announced the game to this point. It's just been really, really special, hasn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've said it in Discord, I've said it on Reddit, I've said it on Twitter. It's a huge passion. It's clear that there's a lot of passionate people here working on this game, and it's been really, really awesome to see how responsive and sort of how excited everyone's been for the game. And I think a lot of us have been waiting for a game like this for a long time, and now a lot of us fans have that. So I'm an F1 fan, you're an F1 fan, we're all F1 fans, and it's it's really cool to have a game for us nerds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been super cool to kind of nerd out with a load of people, and I'm really enjoying the opportunity to already be able to do that with players who actually now get their hands on the game. That's going to be the most fun part of it.
Yes.
All right, awesome. One more thing before I ask you a final question. We've had our last channel points redemption. Jean-Luc 4496 in the chat. Congratulations. Last channel points redemption. You have earned yourself some F1 Manager 22 goodies. So well done to you. And that is our channel points redemption, our giveaways for the day. Done. So thank you to everybody who was keeping an eye on that, and well done to all of our winners. So congratulations on that. Yes, so finally, Steve, I'll ask you the same question I asked Andy and Adam before they headed off to grab some more cake. What is the one thing that you're most excited to see players check out in F1 Manager 2022 as we begin the launch today?
In terms of, what I want to see is loads of clips in our Discord channel. What I want to see is people losing their minds at the action that's been happening in front of them. I've already seen a few. It's been really cool to actually watch, not just streamers, but other people that are just playing the game. Just seeing them share their cool moments. I think that's probably the most heartwarming thing for me, is somebody going, hey, this was a really cool thing, and sharing it with the community. That's probably my most anticipated thing for the next couple of weeks, whilst people filter in and try the game, and just experience the excitement of a race from their own perspective.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. And so pleased for you to be out there inspired to experience the race, to meet the players and so they can go and check out the game. Enjoy it. And I'm sure we'll see you back on Discord and Reddit, and you'll be back on the sofa with me sometime soon after launch for another live stream. So thanks, Steve, for joining us. The internet held up, the signal held up. Over the moon with that. Absolute scenes. Cheers, mate. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you soon, mate.
Thank you very much. I'll catch you soon, man. Have a good rest of the stream.
Thank you, everyone. Steve. Goodbye, Steve. Awesome. That was so cool to chat with Steve, who's out in Spa. So yes, if you happen to be heading out to Belgium or you're already there, we are at the fan zone, so you can check out and play F1 Manager 2022. Awesome. Right. So that's that done. We've done the channel points prizes. So that's the sort. We've chatted with Andy and Adam. So we've done so much already, and it's we're almost an hour into the show, so it's not surprising that we've overrun. That's kind of our shtick. But it's now race day at Albert Park. So shall we get into a race? We should probably do that. It's kind of all been leading up to this, and let's get into it. So we've qualified okay. We navigated the tricky changing conditions of qualifying pretty well, and let's see how we can get on during the race. Obviously, I won't be able to go through this lap by lap. We might have to speed things up a little bit, but I'm very keen to see how we can get on in the Australian Grand Prix. Okay, so I'm thinking I might split the strategy here, chat. So we obviously know that Max is brilliant in IRL when he's allowed to really push and really go for it and push the tyres. So I'm thinking some kind of aggressive two-stop I think could be the way to go here. So you obviously get these recommended stints here based on the running that you've done in practice sessions. But I'm thinking we saw that the soft tyres in practice actually died off pretty quickly, so that could be very risky actually to go for that. So maybe if we go for quite an aggressive two-stopper here, and we allow Max a little bit during the race to really push his tyres and really push them to the limit, I think that could be a good opportunity for us there. So I'm going to go for that, but we'll be ready to make some changes if we have to as the race goes on. Whereas for Checo, we know that he is an absolute god at looking after his tyres, and his in-game stats do reflect that. So let's see if we can maybe try and pull off a cheeky one-stopper here. So onto the hard tyre. This will be, so as we push here, so you can see this strategy layout. So you can see here, the drop-off here, as you can see on this graph, is kind of the expected tyre performance of each tyre. So you can see here, obviously you start with 100% performance for your medium tyre at the start of the race and it dies off. And then here's that kind of, that more grey section is when you kind of get towards the end of the tyre life, you can see a real drop-off in performance. So you want to make a stop around that point. Hence this kind of blue window, which is your pit window for making the ideal stop. So what we're saying here is maybe with a little bit of good tyre management, with some tyre conserving as the race goes on, we could potentially pull off a one-stop strategy with Checo. And I believe in Checo, because he's very good at looking after his tyres, that we can make it happen. So let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's try and make it happen. So we're going to put in around, what's that, lap 23 for Checo. We're going to go earlier with Max because we're going to allow him to really push his tyres and push on a two-stopper. So we're splitting the strategy. We're going to try and force Ferrari into to making a decision that they don't want to make and try and fight our way to the front past Ferrari and hold off the cars behind. Of course, we have Bottas as well as a bit of a wild card in P2. Almost forgot about that. Great qualifying in the mixed conditions for Valtteri Bottas in P2. But here we go, folks. Race day, Australian Grand Prix. I'll let Crofty do the talking.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Let's do it. Right, okay. So off we go from P3 and P4. Let's go immediately on board with Max Verstappen. I say immediately as he presses the wrong button. There we go. Right, okay. So as I said, I want Max to push his tyres. I believe in Max to really push off an aggressive, to really pull off an aggressive one-stop. Is he going to go for the move straight away? No, he's not. He's going to stick in third place for now, maybe for the best as we get settled into the race and as he beds in the tyres. But we're good. We've held position off the line. Lando Norris in 5th, Charles Leclerc in 6th. There's going to be some fast cars behind us, but we should have the pace soon enough to try and make a move on Valtteri Bottas and not let Carlos Sainz in the lead get away. So let's check on Sergio. Already going defensive, Valtteri Bottas. You can see that we've got a lot of speed here. Right, let's go with deploy to try and get Max past Valtteri and into P2 and really put the fight to Carlos Sainz. Maybe not going to happen here as we go into the chicane. Get nice and close, try and stick with him. We've already shifted. I'm going to speed up the action just a little bit. Oh, it's not quite going to work. Gone trying to go for a little bit of a switchback. Not going to happen. We've got Checo right behind us, so already a little bit of a train here. Forming up behind Valtteri Bottas. Let's try and speed things up a bit as we're going to have to crack on. Right, so as you can see, he's trying to make the move. Max Verstappen, has he got it? There's a big battle going on here. Big battle, but it looks like for now, Bottas, hold on. Bottas is the cork in the bottle here. Leclerc has made up some good ground to get into P6. We really need to get by Valtteri Bottas. I'm going to speed up the action just a little bit more, try and make his way through. DRS is enabled. They beat me to the punch there. DRS is enabled, so this should help as we go forward. Got to be careful here with Max's DRS usage to make sure he doesn't go for him. He's gone for the move. Oh, I was looking the wrong way. Typical poor race direction from me then. I would not make a very good F1 TV race director. So we're through. The important thing is through, and Bottas has fallen back again. So Perez, opportunistic move as well to make his way through on Valtteri Bottas. We're going to go deploy here. We're going to defend actually to try and hold this position as much as we can. Maybe push fuel a little bit and really try and get clear of Bottas, which it looks like we're going to be able to do as he tries to defend from Leclerc. Right, so okay, the big thing we needed to do at the start of the race is done. We're past Valtteri Bottas. We can now try and catch up to Carlos Sainz, who's 1.9 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, our first driver on the track.
Use your battery.
Got to keep in mind too here that we're looking to conserve. We're looking to do a one-stopper with Perez, so I'm very much aware that I don't want to push his tyres too hard. Hopefully, we can allow him just for this stage of the race to conserve a little bit of tyres as he's got Bottas behind him who's holding up Leclerc, but I'm sure Leclerc will find a way through sooner or later. There is a yellow flag. It is Leclerc. Something has happened to Leclerc. A Leclerc spin on turn 15. We're going to have a look at this. So looking to make a move on Bottas. And he's put the gas on too early and made a mistake. That is unfortunate to see. It's great for us. It's great for Red Bull. It's great for the championship in these early stages. But it's unfortunate for Ferrari, and they are no happy in the garage. Can't blame them to see Charles fall down the order at such an early stage in the race. Shame for him, but from our side, as a team principal of Red Bull, you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. So let's crack on. Let's absolutely get into this race now and see if we can catch up to Carlos Sainz. So I've allowed Verstappen to push a little bit harder on his tyres. As you can see here, his fuel delta is up, so we're allowing him to push on those a little bit as well. And on we go now. I'm going to speed up the action a little bit. So we'll look at the delta here, and you can see here he's making marginal gains on Carlos Sainz. It looks like we've got the pace. But it looks like Checo's made the move. Checo is the man on the move. He's used the DRS to make the move here. Okay, all right. I'm okay with that. A feature of the game that I'll go into in a sec, we can initiate team orders if we want to, and I might well do that to stop our drivers holding up each other too much. And make sure our strategies pay off for each other. I'm going to do it. So we have team order options in the game in terms of not fighting a teammate or holding cars back. So here we go. Don't fight your teammate. I'm sorry, Checo, but based on the strategies that we're looking to pull off here, I just think it's for the best, Sergio, that we let Max try and push up to Carlos here. I'm sorry. I'm sure some of the chat will be disappointed with me, the Checo super fans. I'm really, really sorry, but as a team principal, you've got to make the tough decisions. You'll realise this for yourself as you play the game. Right, so Checo now in P3, and if we keep that team order on of not fighting a teammate, it should mean that he keeps up a strong pace, but doesn't get too, doesn't go for the overtake or hold up Max. But this fighting between our two drivers has held up a little bit of our progress to catch Carlos, and has allowed Bottas back into the race, who set the fastest lap, and he's looking for a cheeky move up the inside. This is very, very interesting. Right, okay, so let's speed it up again. I'm worried about Bottas here, you know, guys. I'm worried about Bottas here. Can try and make a move, to try and potentially make a move here on Perez if we don't speed up here. Really need Max to make a move. So we've pushed up, so this is good. So we've pushed up to Sainz, and we made the move. We have made the move. I got ahead of myself here. As we go back in the river, we've made the move. So fantastic stuff. Verstappen into the lead. Perhaps not too surprising, because we are asking him to really push his tyres, and he's pushed up on fuel, so now we're going to really have to curl that back here, because you can see minus 2.5 on the delta. So we're going to try and conserve a bit of VRS and a bit of fuel here. But this looks good so far. He's made the move, and he's immediately gapping Sainz. So this is a great stint now, after a little bit of a shaky start for Max Verstappen. Into the lead, P3 for Perez, and he's keeping a decent distance now to Valtteri Bottas, even though we are asking him to be quite careful with his tyres. So classic Checo, absolute classic Checo, doing a fantastic job at the front of the grid while still looking after his tyres. You'll have to see it. Fantastic work, Checo. Great job for the team. Okay, we're in good position here. Surely it can't go wrong from here. Double podium as it stands. I know it's early goings, chat. I know it's early goings, but this has got to be good, right? This has got to be good. Right, we can see here that Bottas has pushed up to the back of Perez, potentially because we are being very careful with Checo's tyres. Maybe a little bit of deploy here to try and keep Checo ahead of Valtteri. What a good effort from Bottas here, by the way. A great qualifying, making use of the tricky conditions to find a way into P2 for the start of the race. And he's not dropped off. He is staying up with the leaders. A fantastic job by the Finn. Right, okay, so as you can see, we've lost the lead. We weren't able to get clear. Maybe that's because we were conserving energy, which makes a lot of sense, to be fair. Whilst we were conserving some ERS there, we were left vulnerable to Sainz. But we made the move back. Fantastic. Back into the lead with Max Verstappen. So let's try and gap him. We've got the 1 second gap. That's really important. So Verstappen's done a fantastic job there of trying to gap Sainz. So let's push back to neutral. So hopefully we can keep up a decent pace here. No ERS. BRS empty for Perez, yeah, because we did tell him to push. I lost track of that. It's just so much to keep track of as a team principal. I'm trying to do my best here, and to be fair, we're doing okay. We're doing all right. We're keeping Perez in a decent P3 here as he goes, sort of weaves to the defensive here, just to try and keep Bottas behind him, which I think he's going to be able to do. But I might need him to push here on his fuel, because he's going to have to conserve some ERS, which is going to make him vulnerable. Right, okay, yellow flag again. Not sure what happened there. Maybe we'll find out via a replay, maybe not. We will. It's a spin for certain Daniel Ricciardo at his home circuit. Has he spun at the same place, done the same thing? Got on the throttle too early. Got on the throttle too early and held up some of the cars too. Oh no, there's an issue there for sure. There's a big issue there. I think that was a Haas that went far too deep. It was Mick Schumacher by the looks of it. Went too deep and had to avoid a collision with the spinning Daniel Ricciardo. It's just, whether in-game or in real life, it's a really interesting time for Daniel Ricciardo, isn't it? It's unfortunate to see, but yeah, that's a shame, but still P15, maybe he can salvage something from the race. Unfortunately, we have lost that place there to Bottas, who continues to do a cracking job. We were conserving some ERS, and it's made us lose the position. Let's have a look at our pit windows before we speed things up again. So, yeah, so Verstappen's doing a fantastic job, and I want him to build this gap here, because we might be going for a more aggressive strategy than others, so I really need him to push those tyres as we enter the pit window. So that's fine, decent fuel usage. We might need to rein in some fuel usage for Checo later on in the race, but he's in a big battle now with Mr. Bottas for P3. Let's crack on a little bit now and advance a few laps as Checo is pushing up hard now, but couldn't quite make the move. Can he make it in the move into turn 3? No, but he's right on the back of Bottas. It is very, very close. Let's let him go back around to the front straight and then hit deploy. Try and get that move done. There we go. Right, come on, Checo. Now try and gap Bottas. 1.1, 1.2. There we go. Right, okay, that's good. Go back to neutral. Hopefully that gives us some clear air. Right, optimal lap for Verstappen. But as you can see, as you probably can see, chat, if we come back in, 56% tyre life. So, you know, we're looking pretty good. This might suggest that a one-stop could be the optimal strategy. So this could play really well into Checo's hands, which would be great, but it could be an issue for Verstappen. But what it means is we can continue to do what Max loves to do in real life, which is really push those tyres and go hard and really set some flying laps. So we'll continue to do that. I know it's the optimal lap, but we've got plenty of life in the tyres, so we'll continue to push it before we move on to the hards, and then we'll see how it goes with those tyres. Potentially, we could even switch to another set of mediums and then maybe even go to a set of softs at the end to change up our strategy and get ourselves onto the fast tyre. Oof. Decisions. Let's have a look at Bottas. Let's have a look at the standings. 2.3 in front of 2.4, basically in front of Bottas. So we've made a good gap there. He's held off the charge of Valtteri. We'll try and conserve some ERS whilst he's got some clear air. So that is looking pretty good. But we need to build this gap for Verstappen just in case Sainz is running a really, really nice one-stopper, which could catch us out. So, okay, let's fast forward it again, just a little bit more. It's a good gap to Sainz. It's comfortable, but I worry that if he's on a different strategy, it could really cause us a bit of a problem. Perez is beautifully positioned. That's a really, really nice opportunity for Perez later on in the race if he keeps looking after those tyres well. Okay, let's go times 8. Let's speed things up just a little bit more as we look at the tyre life of Verstappen. He's doing a fantastic job. He's absolutely killing it here on this medium stint. He's setting fast times. He's building a gap to Sainz, but he's not pushing the tyres to the end of their life. I think this is looking very good. I think at least one of our strategies should come to fruition here and get us a really solid win, unless there's a mistake, there's a spin, or there's an absolute bottle job from me, which is absolutely possible, as many of you will know if you've watched previous F1 Manager 2022 live streams. It is more than possible for me to make an absolute mess of the best possible position for our team. So, Perez is now beginning to go into his pit window, but again, he's looking great. It looks like we're seeing much better tyre life than was initially expected in the early practice sessions, which can happen sometimes. Changing weather conditions, changing track conditions can really mix things up and make it a real guessing game for teams on how they get on with their strategy. So, doing okay so far. We're getting towards the halfway point of the race. I'll just welcome back people who might be joining the stream just now and check in, say hello to everybody. You're watching a special F1 Manager 2022 live stream. My name is Chris, as you can see in that nice little box there. I am here, I'm the community manager working on F1 Manager 2022. And yeah, this is a very special early access launch day live stream where we're checking out the game. We're running a race with Red Bull at the Australian Grand Prix, and it's all going pretty well so far, but there's a long way to go. We've been giving away some special F1 Manager merchandise. Well done to all of our winners during today's show who have got those. And we are giving away codes in the chat as well, so keep an eye if you're still on the lookout for a game code. Look in the chat to see if any more codes are going out between now and the end of the show. Yes, just a reminder, of course, if anybody's missed it, you can play. What are you seeing right now in F1 Manager 2022? If you pre-order the digital version of the game, you can go and play it for yourself right now if you pre-order the digital version of F1 Manager 2022 on PC, Xbox or PlayStation. So don't let me have all the fun. Come and jump in for yourself. Take over whichever team you want of the 10 official F1 teams and let us know how you get on trying to build a bit of a path to glory for your official F1 team. Okay, lap 21, looking pretty good. I'm going to continue to speed things up because I'm very much aware of the time. quick yellow flag there, but it disappeared quickly, so that's okay. Nothing to react upon. Things, you know, we can see actually what happened. Looks like a lockup for Mick Schumacher. It's been a tricky race for him. Oh, that's a big lockup. That is a big lockup. And that has made him lose at least one position there. Yeah, so he's lost it to Yuki Tsunoda and he's moved further down. Incidents like that, maybe if it was more severe, if there was a crash or if there was debris on track, it can lead to a safety car in the game or a virtual safety car, which of course strategically you have to react to. So maybe you might want to bring your cars in for a stop, maybe a cheap pit stop, and you just have to see, you know, what move to make. That is. Nice call there from Lambiazzi, our engineer for Verstappen, saying that Bottas is in pit lane. That's good to know. So yeah, you might want to react to those moments in the game. Of course, not just yellow flags with safety cars and virtual safety cars. There are red flags in the game too. So maybe in this race we'll see one. We'll see. You know, red flag incident could stop the race, bring it to a halt, and then we can make some very minor setup changes to the car back in the garage before we get going again once the hazard on track has been cleared. So look out for those if you're playing the game for red flag incidents. Okay, I think this is now a good time, chat, to bring in Mr. Verstappen. So where is he on track? Okay, he's in a decent, yeah. I think maybe, yeah, on 32%. Let's bring this down just a touch and then let's bring him in. But we were thinking about,
look after it.
We were just thinking about maybe not putting him on the hard tyre and moving to a set of mediums and doing a really aggressive two-stopper. We've got the one stop with Perez. It's going really well. I think we're going to stick with that, and we're going to play to the strength. Get out of the way, please. Get out of the way, please. Oh, there's a big hold-up issue here. There was a big the Aston Martin. We're going to be having words. We are going to be having words with Aston Martin about that hold-up from the Aston Martin. That is unfortunate to see. Oh, that's going to cost us some time for sure. Sainz is in the pits. Interesting. So maybe this is the time to make sure we're not undercut and we move. Right, that is it. I've made the decision, chat. We're making a pit stop. We're moving on to a new set of medium tyres. And we're going to pit this lap. Sainz is in, so we don't want Carlos to undercut us. Going to another set of mediums guarantees that we have to stop again, because of course, in the real world of F1 and in F1 Manager 2022, you have to use at least 2 sets of different tyres. So we are committing at this point to a 2-stop strategy. I am okay with that. I have full faith in Max Verstappen to pull this off, although that hold up with traffic with the Aston Martin can make things very, very difficult. We shall see. Okay, here we go then. Let's slow this down, In he comes. New tyres on. Quick stop. Good stop. Good stop. 2.5, pretty good. We've seen better in real life from Red Bull, but that's still a very strong stop. Where is he going to come out? This is the question. Max Verstappen comes out. So Perez takes the lead, of course. We've got plenty of room to Carlos. Great job from the pit crew to get him out in front of Carlos onto the fresh set of mediums. And again, because we're going with an aggressive strategy, let's just push. Let's just push those tyres. Good stuff. Right, okay. Let's use a bit of that ERS for Checo as he now leads the race. We will bring him in soon, I think, to go for a big run on a hard tyre. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to do that. I think the hard tyre pushing really hard could be a really interesting move around this stage of the race. Okay, we're good. We're 1 and 2 for now, and then we're going to make the stop. We're going to make the stop with Checo. Just going back to that point actually about pit stops. Pit stops is actually something you can affect in the game in terms of the performance of your pit crew. So you can develop all kinds of different areas of the team. So whether that's developing the abilities of your drivers or developing the abilities of your staff. Those are you earn like experience. You earn like development points, which you can then add on to your staff to make them better and develop them as you progress in your save. I'll speed this up a little bit. But what you can also do is you can adjust the training focus of your pit crew. And the more that you do that and you specialise in different areas and try and train them up, in theory, the more successful their pit stop should be, and therefore you should be faster when it comes to pit stops during the game. So that's a kind of like a mini feature, like a sub feature of F1 Manager 2022 that might not seem like a big deal, but you know, when you're battling for the win very closely with another driver, it's all about how quickly you can get in and out of the pit lane. So having a pit crew that is well trained up, that's got plenty of experience and is ready to pull off a really fast pit stop, that can be absolutely vital to your chances of success. Right, I just saw here in the map view that we're approaching some traffic, which I do not want to hit. So this seems like a great time to bring in Perez for his hard tyres. Let's get it done, chat. Let's get it done. We're looking good so far.
Box. Yeah, copy. Box.
Thank you, Checo. Box, confirm. In we come. So this should bring out, hopefully, looking at the deltas, looking at the intervals, this should hopefully bring out Checo in a good spot as we speed things up a little bit. Let's go back, go to the, yeah, we're in the right view. Let's have a look. Where's he going to come out? So there's Carlos. Let's get that wide view, plenty of room. That's fantastic. That is exactly what we want. Get Perez out into plenty of clear air. I think we could see Bottas just coming down the start, finish straight. But we're in good shape here with both Checo and Max. Surely at least one of these strategies is going to come good for us. But okay, I'm going to stick to standard for now. He's still on. Yeah, let's actually harvest some of that energy. He's been on deploy for a while.
Copy.
Okay, speed things up. We haven't got too much time, but we'll crack on. I'm going to go really fast. Let's go 8 times, maybe 16 times in a second. But for now, Verstappen P1, and he's gapping Carlos, which is fantastic to see. You can see by the interval there on the top left-hand corner, 5.8. Kind of going back and forth. We're maintaining that gap, which is pretty good. And there we go. It's the fastest lap of the race for Max Verstappen. He is absolutely nailing it on those fresh-ish set of medium tyres, which is awesome to see. Right, okay. One thing actually to mention that we mentioned about this show is that towards the end of the show, we will also be raiding one, I guess, lucky, one awesome person that is currently streaming F1 Manager 2022 on Twitch. So maybe, I don't know, if you want to drop some suggestions in the chat, we're keeping an eye out ourselves about anybody else who you know that is streaming F1 Manager 2022 right now. There is a lot of people doing that, which is absolutely fantastic to see. And at the end of the show, we will send you over to them so you can check out more gameplay after we sign off, in case you want to check that out. So that'd be really nice just to say hello to another member of our awesome F1 Manager 2022 community by checking in on them with a raid at the end of our show, which will be coming up as I begin to speed up this race. Because we've got to crack on. Perez looking good. I'm going to look at the lap times here. This looks pretty good. We had a yellow flag there briefly. We might find out what that was for. It was Stroll. Okay, work out. I don't think we need to see that replay. It doesn't really affect us too much. Another purple sector for Max. He's really, really doing well. But as you can see here, that's really interesting to see. So, as you can see here, other drivers on the hard tyre, and you would say, based on that tyre life, that they're going to go to the end. It's very likely they're going to go to the end, but they will be on worn hard tyres at the end of the race. So the slowest dry tyre, and it'll be worn at the end of the race. So you've got to think that even though we're going to be coming in for another stop, we're going to have so much overspeed with, I would imagine, a soft set of tyres that are fresh, or at least close to almost being completely fresh, that we've got a chance, if we need to make up places, to make up places. 11 seconds gap. Norris lock up on turn 2. Interesting. Okay, but it doesn't affect us. Oh, I'm getting nervous now, chat. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I haven't done like a test of this exact situation. I've not, predicted how this is going to turn out. I wanted to go into this and just see how it would fare, and if I can, if my strategic skills will be good enough to get the dub. So far, we're looking like there's a chance, but we need to make it work. I'm going to go real push here. So as we saw in practice, the soft tyre is potentially everything you got. Absolutely. Yeah, he knows it. That's what Max does best, is pushing those tyres to the limit. So we saw in the practice sessions that the soft tyre can maybe go 14, 15 laps at a push, possibly, in those conditions, and which are potentially quite similar to conditions here. But as you can see, look at this. Look at this. On the top right, in the right-hand corner of the screen, potential for rain? Right then, okay. That is an interesting development. There's potential, but it's not guaranteed, as you can see here with the forecast that we've got here. Maybe a 40%, maybe a slight downpour here. Maybe here towards the end, this is going to be so tricky. So tricky. Do we stick with our strategy here with Max, or do we hold back just in case we need to pit for intervals? This is tough. Okay, right. Sorry, I'm doing it again. We should be speeding things up because we haven't got too much time, and yet here I am just watching it at one-time speed. Classic F1 Manager 2022 live stream. Okay. So we've got Leclerc, who is in a bit of a recovery race here after qualifying further down the grid, catching up on Checo. Let's go a bit of deploy here to try and make up some ground. 10-second gap. 10-second gap to Carlos Sainz at the front. I think a couple more laps and then we bring Verstappen in, but the rain could change everything. We can see drivers further back coming in for pit stops, so they're going for 2 stoppers, but not the front runners. Oh, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? Right, we use a bit of deploy there for Checo. We go back to neutral. Leclerc is pitted, so that's okay. That gives us a bit more clean air. He was on the 2-stopper. That makes sense. Whew, okay. Ooh, okay, right. Let's speed up a little bit more, because we're getting to a point here. Let me just check the conditions. Let's have a look. Let's go on board. Maybe we can see into the sky. It looks okay, but there's cloud in the air. Oh, we're running this on a knife edge here, chat. We're running this on a knife edge. But I think it's time very soon to bring in Max for the stop, and then absolutely floor it on a set of softs. This is it. This is it. This is we're going to do it this lap. So he's just gone round. Let's make the stop. Those are our freshest set. We used, I believe, in the shootout in Q3. We're going to do it. Prayers in the chat, folks. Let's hope we get this right. Max is not pushing that hard. It was 2 times speed, but he is absolutely pushing it to the limit. Bit of ERS as well. Try and really push it. We're looking okay for fuel. That should level itself out, but we'll keep an eye on it. Right, let's go, Max. Let's do this. 14-second gap. Oh, there's a sector 3. Fuel limited. Yeah. We flagged that. Absolutely. Okay. Hamilton's spin on turn 15. It's been a rough weekend for Lewis Hamilton. He's made his way up to P8, which is a good showing so far. Right, here we go. Here we go. Pit stop for Max Verstappen. Looking at the deltas, we're going to come out behind Carlos almost certainly, but we should come out in front of Checo, who is doing a great job on the hard tyres. We're actually going to up. We're going to up his. That's a good stop. That looked like a good stop. 2.6 is okay, but it's not fantastic. Yep. Right, the work starts here, Max. Do what you do best. Let's have a look. There he goes. There goes Carlos Sainz. We are not far behind whatsoever. Can we get the job done? 13 laps to go. Right, Max, everything that you've got. Oh, they could drop off. Look at that tyre drop off.
Caution on the battery.
Oh, we have, yeah, empty on the battery. Yeah. Oh, have I gone too early here, chat? Have I gone too early?
Just look after this tyre set though, Max.
Oh,
okay.
Oh my word. Scenes. Right, okay. I'm happy to let Checo push because he's doing a fantastic job, as he always does in-game and IRL with his tyre life. He's looking really good there for a podium. Perhaps we can push up to Sainz towards the end of the race. But it's all about Max now. Gap, 2.2. It's sticking around 2.2 because we're looking after the tyres. This is going to be close, chat. This is going to be close. We need to conserve. We're out of ERS. We need to conserve and then go for a big push towards the end of the race. How are their tyres looking? 57. They're going to be fine. They won't be that quick, but they won't fall off the cliff, I don't think. Sainz's hard tyres. You don't expect that. Let's keep conserving. We're 2.4. We're just holding the gap for now, and then we're going to go for a big push in the last 7 or 8 laps of the race, I think. Go for a big push. You can see we're looking good, looking after the tyres. You can see it, so that red line is the kind of the projected performance of the soft tyre. The white line is the actual performance of every lap today. So you can see the life of the tyre is kind of holding up a bit more than expected, which is good, and partially down to the fact that here we're asking Max to kind of be light on his tyres. So that's good. 2.8, we're falling back. Right, we're going to have to go. We're going to have to do this. No more holding back, Max. This is it. This is it, Max. You would think as the race goes on and as Sainz's tyres begin to drop, got held up a bit of traffic there. That's really good. Can we get by Ricciardo quickly? Oh, we lost a little bit of time. Okay. Not that one. Let's take this view. We can see him. There he is. There is our target. Carlos Sainz up the road. 9 laps to go. 2.5 is the gap. Let's do this. Come on, let's do it. Let's go, Max. Let's look at this gap. 2.5, 2.5. Oh, come on. Come on. Has he got the pace? It's those soft tyres. They're dropping off so quickly. We're doing a decent job with them, but they're just not. They're not delivering that performance, which we kind of saw a little bit of in the practice runs. 2.3. We're making progress. It's not quick, but we're making progress. Need to get into that DRS zone. That's when we can make the move. I don't want to pull the trigger on absolutely thrashing the tyres just yet, because there's a few laps to go. but we're going to have to soon if he doesn't make more progress. Gasly coming up as a back marker. Maybe that gives us an opportunity. 1.9. We're continuing to close. The gap is closing, chat. The gap is closing. Can we do this? Can we get the P1 from Max Verstappen? 1.8. Gasly's doing a good job here, actually. We're not catching up too quickly to him. 1.7. Ooh, come on. Right. I'm just worried about, I don't want to push, if we could push the tyres right now with Max and we could almost cruise up to the back of Sainz because of that and try and make the move. But I don't want the tyres to wear out too early because of that, and then Sainz could come back and get us because he's on the slower to wear, harder tyre. But it's 1.3. It's 1.3 with 6 laps to go. Come on, we can do this. Look at that. Visually, you can just see that we are closer, which is awesome to see. I love some of these onboard views. That absolutely, like we were talking about it with Andy and Adam earlier on in the show. Just that these onboard views are just awesome to see. Like you can, and these are available. I'll quickly check in with someone like Valtteri Bottas, who's having a great battle here with Charles Leclerc. That's really good. That's cool to see. They're having a good battle for P4 there as Leclerc's on a recovery drive. You can go on board or watch trackside cameras for any car in the game, not just the 2 cars that you are controlling as the team principal. But for now, we need to focus on Max. Perez is looking good. We're checking quickly. Looking good. He's looking okay. 13 seconds behind Sainz. Over 15 in front of Bottas. So nice and clear. Life in the tyres. We're looking good. It's Max. And we are in DRS range. Here we go. Come on. How long to go? 5 laps. We've saved up plenty of ERS. We've got fuel. We've got fuel covered. We're on right track there. Look at that for time. Right, I'm going to go for it. We've got to do this. We've got to do this, chat.
Prep ourselves for a push.
Prep ourselves for a push. Those are the words that Max Verstappen likes to hear. You can see the gap here. 0.6, 0.5. Let's slow it down. Let's go on to the front wing cam. Come on, this is it. We're on the faster tyre. We've got some life left in them. Let's get the job done. Deploy ERS. DRS open. Can we get it done here? Oh, that's great straight line speed from the Ferrari though. He'll go defensive. He'll cut a little bit to the middle of the track. Ooh. Fastest lap from Verstappen as well, making good use of the DRS. Can we get it here? Can we get the job done? Will he move to the outside? Here he goes. Yes, there we go. Job done. Right, we need to defend the position now. We know how powerful DRS can be, so we need to keep this position and be careful. Right, here we go. Job done. Let's get another look at it. We've got to take another look.
We're just watching the Red Bull.
Around the outside. Carlos goes for the defensive line on the inside, but we're late on the brakes. We've got the grip, we've got the confidence in the car, and we get the job done. We've got some back markers ahead. That could be crucial. That could be absolutely crucial. Right, here we go. 4 laps to go. 4.5. Tyres are getting a bit warm. Understandable. He's been behind Carlos for a little bit of time. Was that a move down the back marker? It was. Good job. Good job by the Aston Martin there to get out of the way. I believe that was Lance Stroll. Whew! Right. Come on then. All we really need to do here is just navigate this traffic cleanly, which we're not doing. Okay. It's an AlphaTauri as well. Of all cars to give us some issues here, we're going to have to get him down the front straight. We're going to have to get him down the front straight. Okay, job done. It's Latifi now.
Looked like a clean lap there as well, mate.
Nice job. Nice job. Excellent job. We weren't held up too much at all because we're absolutely blasting those times in and getting a fastest lap of the race. I was panicking. It was just me, chat. I was over panicking. Good job, Nicky. Yeah, good job. I believe that was Latifi. Just getting out of the way. Good job there. Thank you very much. Back markers. I think we're home and dry now, lads. Lads and ladies, guys and girls, we are home and dry here, I think, as long as there are no errors from our drivers or from myself. Absolutely bottling it towards the end. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this down and just keep an eye on the gap. Okay. Oh, how the RS, I wasn't keeping an eye on that. Okay, let's conserve. Okay, tyre life could be critical here towards the end, so that's the only thing really to keep an eye out for, and then we'll just keep an eye on the delta to Sainz. But his tyres are dropping off too, so we should be okay. Like 56. Sainz is through the traffic. He's only 1.5 behind. Oh dear. Right, back. No more. We got to go. Rossi's going to push up to us. He's on the charge, Carlos. He is on the charge. I wanted to be cautious with with the car, but we cannot when Carlos is that close behind. It's the back markers, isn't it, that could play such a key role in this. Oh, come on. Penultimate lap, Max Verstappen in the lead, being charged down 1.1 behind by Carlos Sainz for the win at the Australian Grand Prix. He's losing grip. Yep, that's what's going to happen. It was an aggressive strategy. We knew this could happen.
Were you happy with the chance, like the last few
Yeah,
laps?
we're going to have to be. We're going to have to be, Max. We're going to have to be. Okay, we're through Albon. We didn't lose too much time. Go on, Albon. Do us a solid. Do us a solid. Oh, okay. 1.5.
Okay, final lap.
Okay, I think we're going to be all right. 1.1. Whoa, 1.0. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We got to hold on. Oh, he's closed. He's closed so much. We're going to have to push. We're going to have to push. Oh, my word. It's going down to the final corner. It could be DRS on the line, folks. Oh, my word. Here comes Carlos looking for the win. Not quite this time, but he's going to be so close. It's the tyres. I've gone too hard on the tyres. He's got DRS open, but we've gone for the outside line. We're coming to the middle of the track just to be as defensive as possible. This is it, folks. This is it, chat. 58 laps, a whole 1 hour and 33 minutes of streaming have led up to this. The final few corners of the Australian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen keeping his car as wide as possible to keep Carlos Sainz behind him. Here we go, round the final turn. Here we go. It's going to be DRS on the line. No! Oh, it's almost a dead heat. It looks like Sainz has taken it though. And a near photo finish. Oh no! Oh no, chat. I can't believe it. Sings for Carlos Sainz. He's nailed the win. What an unbelievable result. It is basically a dead heat. Less than 1,000th of a second has come into it. But the timings have meant that Carlos Sainz has taken the win. I would be distraught if that wasn't such a great example of how dramatic a race can be in F1 Manager 2022. Basically a dead heat. We might have to go to have a bit of a steward's inquiry on this and have a look at the video footage just to double check. But oh my word, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That is stunning. GG's Carlos Sainz. You know, what a performance there. We went too hard on the soft tyres and paid the price, and Carlos capitalised. That is such a good example of how important strategy can be in F1 Manager 2022. So close to getting the win there for Red Bull, but we couldn't quite pull it off. The one stopper for Sainz gets the job done. Whew, I am knackered. I am exhausted from that. That was quite something. Fastest lap of the race as well for Max Verstappen. That's such a shame we weren't able to keep. Look at that. 0.000. It was less than 1,000th of a second. It wasn't even showable on the timing screens. It was less than 1,000th of a second. That is incredible. But we didn't get the win. We're going to have to do better. We're going to have to do better next time around when we go to the next race of the season. But that is it. That is. I can't believe it. That's such a good example, like I said, of you know how dramatic the stories that you can create in F1 Manager 2022. I will go and drown my sorrows very soon, when we end this stream to commiserate the fact that we just lost a victory there with Max Verstappen. But what an awesome race, and what an awesome show! That was absolutely brilliant. What, you know, some of the stuff that we got into here today was celebrating the early access launch of F1 Manager 2022. So if you pre-order the digital version of the game, you can play right now, just as we are right here on PC, Xbox and PlayStation. So if you want to experience the dramatic moments like we just experienced, that's all you need to do is go and order the digital version of the game, and you can experience it right now. We've been dropping codes in the chat. We gave away some exclusive F1 Manager merchandise via channel points. That was super cool. We checked in with Steve, who was over in Spa in the fan zone, where you can check out the game if you're over there checking out the Grand Prix too. We chatted to Adam Woods and Andrew Fletcher, two of the key head honchos of the game, to celebrate launch with them and just chat about their thoughts about the journey of this game so far. And we experienced a quite epic race at Melbourne. That was special. That was absolutely brilliant. I'm distraught that we lost, but I'm so cool to be able to show that kind of example of the kind of fun that you can have in the game. Right. That is it. I believe at the end of the show we're going to be raiding someone who is playing F1 Manager 2022. My awesome colleague Adam is nodding. We're going to be able to do that, which is fantastic. Loads of people are playing, so feel free to check that streamer out that we're going to raid, or anybody else. Feel free to take a look. There's loads of people playing right now, which is really, really cool to see. So, F1 Manager 2022, available now via early access for PC, Xbox and PlayStation. Pre-order the digital version and you can get your hands on the game right now. Thank you to everybody who's joined us for this awesome show. I've had an absolute blast flying solo here, handling everything, handling the chat, chatting to guests, and actually trying to be a team principal at the same time. I hope you guys all have the same fun whilst you're playing the game. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Enjoy the game, and we will see you again very soon for another live stream for F1 Manager 2022. Thanks. See you again.